Good morning, Coachella Valley, and thank you for joining us for NBC Palm Springs Today. I'm Joe Smith. I'm glad you're here. The mayor of Vancouver is breaking glass and taking names. Once you're gone, what happens to your online digital footprint? The smoke has changed dramatically now to white, a good indication that they have this under control. After today, the company will no longer provide health care for striking workers. It's fun to come down here. There's going to be a lot of excitement. A new shopping center in Tualatin needs to fill hundreds of jobs. Get your resumes ready. I think it's pretty tough to do that. Do you have to concentrate?
Sort of.
All right. Does it make you smarter in school?
Kinda.
Can you do it without the red nose?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I ruined the whole act. I tell you, this is not over the top, is it?
Oh, no, not for Palm Springs. No. I know my mom's watching. Hi, Mama.
What's the wattage of all this? We are continuing breaking news this midday. Downtown in Palm Springs, an explosion at the El Patron restaurant. This happened just about a half hour or so ago. We begin with breaking news out of Desert Hot Springs, where a man was shot and killed overnight. This is in the area of 5th Street and Date Palm at the Desert Hot Springs Mobile Home Park. Days after Tropical Storm Hilary hit the desert, the cleanup and damage control continues. Throughout all of this, we've seen neighbors helping neighbors and, of course, local first responders jumping into action. And for one Desert Hot Springs man, he considers himself to be fortunate to be alive. Now, during the storm, floodwaters carried him across the valley. Good afternoon. We have breaking news at this hour. Clinton County Sheriff Dave Fabro is telling us that David Sweat is in custody. Tens of millions of people in the United States are enduring yet another round of dangerously hot weather, and that includes the Portland, Oregon area, where 4 people have reportedly died of heat-related issues. Catherine Kissel reports. And welcome back. As you know only too well, the nation's historically high inflation is hitting many Americans very hard. As food and gas prices skyrocket, some people say they're struggling to find ways to make it through to another month. Natasha Chen talked to a woman living in the costly area of where we live, Riverside County. It's been a busy week for economic news. Data shows the economy shrank for the second straight quarter, and the Fed raised interest rates for the 4th time this year. Bree Jackson reports while there are growing fears of a recession, unemployment remains low.
I need you to go.
The manager of this Beaverton Chili's didn't want to talk, but employees had plenty to say. They lost their jobs today.
I'm getting married later this year, and I was kind of counting on all this money.
Grant Duvall and as many as 480 others are now on the unemployment line.
I just got a phone call last night saying I was out of a job.
Without warning, 4 area Chili's restaurants shut their doors for good.
There's people who've been here for 10 years that, you know, where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
Signs on the door in Beaverton and Hillsboro read, "Closed for repairs."
Go to Hillsboro.
Already the lamps were being taken off the building, the blinds are closed, the big red pepper and Chili's logo sits on the ground.
We came in this morning and had a work order in our box that said, take them down.
Out back, the restaurant was being cleaned out.
I need to get my boss out here.
Oh, is he available?
Yeah, let me
All right.
I need to shut this first.
The manager never did talk to us.
We can't comment right now. Close the door.
Brinker International of Dallas operates several Chili's in the area. While they did confirm the closings, a spokesman would not say why.
I found I got a text message this morning about it. I don't know, I gotta find out.
And adding to the closing confusion, at the Lake Oswego Chili's, a sign reads, "Closed for re-imaging." It left one lunchtime customer in the lurch.
I'm here for a date. An online date.
In Wilsonville, no sign indicates the restaurant is closed at all. Amy Eberhardt was hoping to use her gift certificates.
My boyfriend calls me and says, comp tickets aren't good anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, you know, all the Chili's have closed up. I'm like, what?
It's the question former employees are still asking.
No warning. It was just a complete surprise.
Despite the early morning fog, it was clear everything was in place, and it was time for the big move of this 3,400-ton stretch of the Sellwood Bridge. Tom Grant from Lake Oswego came out for this history-making photo op. He and his wife have been following the bridge move's progress for over a year.
It's a huge endeavor to plan and make something this complex come off without a hitch.
Hey, where else are you going to see a bridge that wide being moved?
Not too many places. It's one of the longest bridge parts ever moved.
How is this going to happen?
The 1,100-foot truss span must move in an exact straight line.
We're using some lasers to keep it aligned. We're also using GPS to check that. And then we're using basically tape measures.
It will take about 12 hours to make the journey.
Revolutionary.
Amazing.
Spectacular.
Slow.
It probably looks as though the bridge isn't moving very fast, but on average it's moving 3/4 of an inch a minute. And by the end of the day, it will be docked with the Detour Bridge. The idea for a detour bridge came from the engineering company Omega Morgan out of Hillsboro. It will save up to $10 million on this $307 million project. Jamie Kopp's husband, Josh, is the foreman.
He's actually on this first pier right here. So he's the one that been setting up all the track and everything to get it to move. So it's been awesome.
The Big Move has become an event, a celebration starting at the Oaks Pioneer Church just up the street. It's where neighbors are getting a quick lesson in engineering.
You just push the old one to the side and build the new one in its place, tear the old one down. It's as easy as that.
Sure it is. And for businesses that rely on bridge traffic to the Sellwood area, say they can bridge that gap.
We all think that a week is a pretty short period of time, so we can weather that.
A short-term inconvenience for what will be a permanent improvement just 2 more years down the road that drivers say they'll be ready to cross that bridge when they come to it. Joe Smith, KGW News Channel 8.
As a young adult woman, I want to feel safe.
Reaction to sex offender Richard Laws coming to Burlington was immediate.
The idea is to keep them from reoffending, and living homeless is not a way to assure that. And I have 2 daughters, and I feel very strongly about that.
Laws served his time, convicted 23 years ago for the kidnapping, raping, and leaving a woman for dead. She survived. His release date is set for Thursday, April 9th. Barrie and Montpelier police strongly urged Laws to live elsewhere.
Very short notice.
Sergeant Michael Warren with the Chittenden Unit for Special Investigations tells us late Wednesday the Burlington Police Department was notified by DOC Laws decided to call the Queen City home.
It does not give us a whole lot of ability to get the notification out to the people.
Burlington police are hustling to get the word out.
We've put together flyers that we're handing around to the downtown businesses and some of the shelters and trying to notify people the best way we can.
Laws' anticipated move to Burlington is already a topic of conversation on social media. When Laws arrives, it will be difficult for him to take advantage of some social services. He's not welcome at COTS. No sex offenders can stay there. And because Laws did not complete his treatment while in prison, he won't be eligible to room at a new place, a shelter for men on North Street.
Anytime somebody's homeless, it raises a lot of concerns about how we're going to verify that they're in compliance with the sex offender registry, so that it's very difficult.
Laws is required to check in daily with the sex offender registry, now an added burden for Burlington police.
We're still going to be stuck with trying to, keep an eye on this person who's considered very likely to reoffend and a high risk.
One of the best things about reporting is sometimes you never know what you'll discover. Now, during the heat of last summer, I went to check out a clothing optional resort in Palm Springs, the Terracotta. I knew I would see vacationers sans clothing, but what I came away with was a new appreciation for those who enjoy a different kind of freedom by leaving their inhibitions at the door.
Ron Blackwood from San Diego is a vacationer. For him and his wife, there is no better way to spend a place in the sun.
No bathing suits, no tan lines. People are more friendly at these places.
Without intimidation?
For me?
Yeah.
Never was, no. Even for my wife, no.
Well, maybe some things could be a little awkward.
Now, if you were out here and said, oh my God, there's our neighbors. Oh, there's my teacher. That'd be interesting, to say the least.
But as more people take fewer vacations, clothing optional resorts are looking for more exposure.
We did some research and it showed that people didn't know about it.
Mary Claire and Tom Mulhall manage the Terracotta Resort and Spa in Palm Springs. They've been a part of the industry for more than 20 years. They've heard all the misconceptions about places like this.
That it's a wild swinging place, and it's not. It's just a nice place to lay in the sun and get an all-over tan.
Everybody's thinking that you come here,
you're going to be a Playboy model, you have to have a really hard body, and so it's all the fear of the unknown that's in your head. That's the intimidation factor.
And Mary Claire says there's an added health benefit to going au naturel.
Well, everyone knows you need more vitamin D, right? That's a good way to get it.
But the Mulhalls do caution if you are visiting a clothing optional resort, there is one thing to bring that's a must.
I think probably the biggest rule is that you have to bring your smile. If you forget to pack it, you're not allowed to come.
And as for Ron, it took just one vacation to know for him there will be no cover-up.
Because there's nothing to hide.